Hello and welcome to Mythical Meeples. Today I'll be unboxing the Imperial Knight Cerastus Knight Castigator for games of Warhammer the Horus Heresy and Warhammer 40,000. If you want to pick up your own Games Workshop products and you're in the EU or UK, please head over to Element Games. There's an affiliate link below. You'll get money off, generally around 15% off for every Games Workshop product that you buy, and I get a 5% kickback for every purchase made through that link. No extra cost yourself. On with the unboxing. So inside the box, you can see here it's the Cerastus Knight Castigator. It looks like there's no other variants. You get the sword and you get the gun over here, unlike some of the other knight kits where you get different weapon options to build from. So let's have a look inside. So you can see here as we open up the box, you've got an instruction booklet, you've got a few transfer sheets, so you can see here transfer sheet B with different patterns and a few symbols on as well. And here you've got transfer sheet A, which contains your different house markings. So you've got House Maccabeus, House Vironi, House Pedaxia, House Crest, House Malalex, and House Cold Shroud. Apologies on the pronunciations if I'm getting them wrong at all. Inside as well, we've got the thing that we've all been looking for, which is the sprues. So you can see here, this is the different compartments of the gun. You've got the main body here, sword arm and big gun here. Shoulder and armor pads and one of the legs, and the same again here. And then the final one is the main part of the hull. And inside you've got a large base as well. So first things first, we're going to look at the instruction booklet, because you should always start with the instructions. So you can see here you've got the, helps if you start on the right page. So you start off by building up the various leg segments, as you can see here. You have to do this twice, as the components of both legs are the same, I believe. There might be some slight variations just in how you assemble it though, just to make the right and the left leg. And then you build up the sort of hip joint, and eventually you end up having the final stages of the legs. Then you assemble the armor plating, and once you've done this, the bottom part of the legs are all done, and then you start off. Next up is building up the whole of the model, torso, as you can see here. And then you end up with this piece here. You then make the bolt cannon, which has lots of sort of fiddly bits by the look of it, so it might take you a while to do so. And you've also got to assemble the gun rounds here as well. Following this, you've got the Tempest Warblade. This actually looks really easy to do, the actual blade, but then you've got to build up the arms, as you can see here. Once the arms are done, you can build up the pilot as well, if you're planning on making them visible. And then you start sticking the bigger pieces together. So you can see you've got the torso onto the legs with the head, and you put the armor plating on top of the torso with the pilot inside. You've got options for Loyalist, Traitor, Knight Mechanicum and Questoris household. And then once you've built this, you attach the arms. And then you've got the gun rounds here, which you built earlier. And finally, the shoulder pads. So as you might expect from a kit this size, building up the model itself is a project, not to mention painting it as well. So I'm going to take you one by one, each of the sprues. There are 2 copies of this sprue, I'm just going to show you the one though. So as we said before, you can see the sort of main pieces of the leg. You've got the shoulder pads, leg armor up here and here. So it's quite obvious which of the sort of big pieces are, and then you've got the smaller pieces like this as well, which are less obvious what they are. The other side of the sprue, basically the inside, so there's not much detail on this side, but obviously you can make out all the rivets on the armor pieces here and here, so there's lots of detail on these big kits, but you've also got a nice lot of space for freehanding if you so wish. And let's try and see mould lines, but they're probably not going to be very prevalent on a kit like this, so we're probably better off trying to find them on one of the other sprues. You can just about make them out on this bit here, but they're not very obvious at all, so they should be quite easy to clean up, which is good because you're going to be spending a lot of time assembling. So here you've got the hull of the model. As you can see here, you've got the place for the arms to slot in. You've got a few more armor pieces here and here. You've got the hip joint here. Again, this is the arm. Got the little banner here, the pennant. The other side, again, is the inside of the model, so there's less detail on here. But you have got the symbol still like this. Again, you can make out all the little details like the wiring on the model here and here. And again, let's try and see if we can find some mould lines. It's probably going to be quite tricky. Maybe a piece like this in the corner we can spot them, but they're not very obvious, which is really, really good. Can't really make them out on the tubing. So cleaning this up should be quite straightforward. As you can see, we don't really have a lot of mould lines to deal with. This third sprue we're going to look at has the pilot and the upper armour of the torso. So again, you can make out all the rivets on the armour plating. The pilot is really detailed as well. I'll probably be gluing my carapace on so that you can't see it, but some people do enjoy painting them and having them on display. You can see the pilot has far more mould lines than the other pieces, the larger pieces, so it will be more challenging to clean up. But again, mould lines on the rest of it aren't very obvious at all. And if we look at the other side, again, you can see that these are mostly interior pieces, so you're not going to see them, and as such they're not very detailed. Next up, we can see here we've got the sword and the gun arm sprues. Really obvious what the sword is, you can see it quite clearly here. And again, the gun, you can make out the various pieces here and here, and then there's small cabling as well to attach to it. Again, we've got the same thing with the other side being less detailed, as you're not going to see it. So I really like the sword and the gun combination. It's just something about it that's really appealing. Make out again, you can make out all the little rivets and the coils of the wire. Let's try and see those mould lines again. Though looking at it, they're again not very obvious at all. And finally, we'll look at the last sprue. So the last sprue is just the rounds of the gun. You've got 3 different pieces. You've got one, which is probably the start piece. You've got the clippings here, and then you've got them here as well. I think you just attach them together and end up with giant magazine rounds for your gun. See if we can see the mould lines. But again, I think they're pretty much not present at all, which is really, really good. And that's it for the unboxing. I hope you like this video. If you do, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. This helps me grow as a channel as well. You can support me in other ways by becoming a member of Mythical Meeples or supporting me on Patreon, where you'll get access to extra content, sneak previews and behind the scenes. And again, if you want to buy your Games Workshop products and you're in the EU or UK, head over to Element Games using my link below. Drop a cookie into your browser, letting you know that you've come from me, and I'll get a 5% kickback for every purchase that you make through that link. So thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.